Today, we have one of our amazing CEO Circle members. And when I met Tanya, I have to tell you, her energy, her enthusiasm is contagious, and love having a leader like that. That, not only is she wicked, brilliant, but uses technology and is so talented. And you're going to hear her story. It's Tanya Edisam. She is the CEO of Great Stone Design. Welcome to Spotlight TV. And as I told you, the spotlight is on you. So why don't we start off with how you got started, the name of your company. And, I love the name Great Stone Design.
Well, we can thank my father for that. He has a Great Stone Development. He's been in development and construction since I was born, and the name was definitely inspired by him. I wanted to continue the family legacy into Great Stone Design, and that is how the name was born.
How soon did you know that, some people well into their, whatever, college, after any of that, and they don't know what they want to do. How soon did you know what you wanted to do?
Well, let's be clear. I was lost and confused for a long time. I've tried so many things. I have a very eclectic background, but growing up with my father and my mother, both in the real estate industry, construction and design, I knew that I loved it. I was a little kid who loved architecture. I wanted architecture drafting kits. I went to the architecture office of my father and kind of learned AutoCAD at a very young age. So I always had that passion. But then growing up, I got into ballet, and I actually went full force and became a ballet dancer. So the table turned quite a bit, although I still always kept my passion for architecture and design. So I continued to become a professional dancer. And I say that mostly because later, then down the line, once I stopped, I got into this industry again, full circle. But being a dancer actually has so many elements that flow into construction and design. And it might sound weird, but with dance and choreography, you have to worry about flow, space, musicality, and like how the lighting affects the scene on the stage. And all of that holds true in design as well. When you're creating a space, you want it to feel like it has a spatial flow, the lighting is correct, and all of those things matter when you're designing a space as a whole. So it's still a bunch of creative aspects, kind of transitioned into what I do now.
I love it. And I think that that's a really great comparison when you think about designing a space and being able to take a look at something and see what isn't seen yet, and to create and do all that. Walk us through the process. So from the point, for anyone listening out there who says, oh, wow, I don't know what to do with this space, obviously call you. But what's the process?
Well, actually, I'm glad you said that, because a part of my passion for this and finding like a need for the business is there's so many talented designers and builders, all of those things. But one of the biggest problems that I found is, especially in residential, people want to create a beautiful space that flows and feel good at home. But one of the most stressful things in this process is the process. People make expensive mistakes. They don't know where to start managing vendors, timelines, budgets, and people get so stressed out when in the end, they're trying to create peace in their home. So that was something that I wanted to tie into the whole process. Of course, I love the actual design part, creating the beautiful spaces visually, but it's also the process in itself that tends to make people either one, overspend, two, extend the timeline tremendously, or three, have to spend more due to mistakes. And actually for also managing all of the pieces of it. It's just so stressful that people end up either not doing it or being so stressed out at the end that their beautiful space ends up becoming a stressor. So what I really wanted to do is create a one-stop shop where it's not only the design aspect, but also the project management, managing all of the vendors' timeline, everything, so that the client feels at peace in their home.
Is there one particular part of the home that you particularly have a passion for, or is it the whole home as a whole?
Yeah, I would say it's as a whole, because unless a client comes to me and says, I want to design this one specific room, then okay, fine. But if I'm working on the whole house or the whole apartment as a space, it's definitely an entire flow. And that doesn't mean that everything has to match or everything has to be the same color. Definitely not. It's curated so that everything flows together and creates a whole space.
I was so impressed with how much technology and how you embrace technology, use technology, and have developed technology. Well, let's talk about that because I think that that's one of those things that sets you apart in terms of, this next generation of, talented women in business that, really is using every tool in the toolbox.
Yeah, well, these days there's no excuse to not have some sort of visual reference. I went a little bit of a step above, and this is more so on the commercial end for, let's say, large builders. I did create a technology to visualize as a client when you're purchasing a home what your upgraded packages will look like. So for example, let's take a kitchen. You might have a bunch of different cabinet selections, hardware, appliances, countertop options, and typically you'll see it on a booklet or maybe in a design center, you can pull out a cabinet, but you can't see it as a whole again. So I created a visualizer in a sense, personalized for a particular builder where clients can then completely visualize and select their kitchen upgrade packages. So in the end, they see what they're buying, and it helps not only sell, honestly, upsell the kitchens, but also for the client to be confident in what they're selecting.
And when you think of the legacy, what would you say are like 3 things maybe that you learned from your mother and your father that would be kind of the mix that makes you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, both my mother and father are literally the best on the planet. I know everyone says that, but they really are. They have been my rock since I was born through all of my experiments and who knows what. They have been my biggest supporters. They're both the most hardworking people I've ever seen, met. And I definitely get my discipline and drive from both of them. Both my mother and father have worked so hard and they built everything they had from the beginning. And my mother is an extremely strong woman. So I learned all of that from her, not to take any BS or, not let anyone run you down and just be strong and believe in what you're good at. And my father, again, same thing, super driven, hardworking, the most genuine and honest kind person. So all of these things I think make who I am. And then of course, just hardworking, but they really shaped my inner self for sure.
Let's talk about like that one client that sticks in your mind is probably your biggest success story and kind of from, what they wanted to, because sometimes, people think they know what they want, but when they see it, it's not really what they wanted, or what they think is not what they thought, all those things. So,
well, something that's funny that you just said. So most people actually say, I have no idea what I want, but I really know what I don't want. So when you show someone something, they might not know what they like, but they know if they see something that they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So most people don't know what they want. And I think that's why they seek out help. For at least one reason. So as far as success story, I honestly can't pick one. Each project I really, maybe for good or bad, I don't know, I get super invested in the client and how they feel, making sure they're happy. And whether it's small or whether it's big, I put my all into it. And because I genuinely want to, and that's the only way I can do it. So I get heavily invested in the process and I enjoy all of it. Some have been, yes, way larger projects than others, but every single one, each person in any industry, they have their story, so I feel like that's super important when you're designing a space, especially in a home. Like home is, we've had our meetings. Home is where the heart is. It's everything. That should be your inner peace. And again, how I mentioned the whole process as well, that it's typically stressful for people. That's also, I like to bring happiness and less stress into people's lives, and most people are pretty stressed out, so it's nice to bring a little peace. So it makes me enjoy every single project, honestly.
And managing all the details. I've got I've got to believe that when you have several projects going on in the same time, that it's difficult, challenging to keep yourself organized, but I know how organized you
Yeah.
are and you plan everything out. What are some of the things that help you do that? How do you keep yourself organized and on time and manage deadlines and timelines and all those things?
Yeah, well, I actually created all of my own spreadsheets and systems. I would love to find a platform that does it all, but I've looked and none exists. So I might have to create one as well that at least fits my needs. And I would think that others would need the same thing. So I'm kind of old school in that sense. Unfortunately, I guess I use lots of Excel, lots of spreadsheets, and I manage everything on my own. I'm a bit of a control freak, so I kind of like it, but also it would help with time management to kind of, have some sort of software that does it. And there's plenty, but I just haven't found one that kind of fits my needs.
Uh-huh.
And another thing that's great is my team. Like, honestly, everyone that I have on my team, we all work so well together. They know exactly how I work. Everyone's on time. I mean, one thing that sticks in my head is not that long ago, I'm doing a large remodel in a house in Miami Beach. And we set a time, 11:30. Like, I had 5 different contractors to be there at 11:30. I arrive early always. I was there at 11:15. They were all there lined up outside waiting for me. I was just like, wow, this is unbelievable. Like, it's the team. And that, again, is part of my business. And what I wanted to create is a reliable, honest team, because it's not only me. There's so many parts to the business. And I think that's a big part of what sets us apart as well.
Developing a great team that you can rely on, I mean, is not easy. It takes some business owners a long time to finally get the right mix. And, would you say that it's who you are in the hiring process? Is it more about how you train them, how you inspire them, how you motivate them? What's your secret sauce?
Yeah, I know.
Because you just mentioned, I have a great team and everybody's on time. I mean,
that doesn't happen.
That's a dream team. But, what have you done to create that?
I would hope that I'm a little inspiring and motivating, but from the beginning, I always say that, listen, the way I run my business, time is important in construction and anything, but especially it's known to be sloppy, late, it just has a bad reputation. And I wanted to fix that. Because I know if I'm doing work in my own home, what I would expect is how I want others to be receive the product. So I did say those things. Also, I would say that a lot of my team has grown by referral of another team member that I have. So,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I started with one that was trusted and true, let's say from my father. And then I was like, as I grew, oh, I need someone for this. You know, someone great. Oh yeah, this guy. So someone I knew referred that has also been in the business for a long time. And it kind of grew from there. So I think that's a big part of it, is not going in cold looking for people. In my case, it seemed to work well. I'm sure there will be a time where I'm going to have to just find someone randomly, but I think referral in general is always a little bit more of a secure way of finding quality people. And I mean, honestly, my whole business has been fully on referral, fully. I haven't done one advertisement, not anything on Instagram, and it means a lot. And I think that's also part of why each project is so special, because it comes from someone else that I've worked with.
What are some of the qualities that you look for and when you're hiring? I mean, what would you say are the top 3 things? I mean, people always say how their companies are built on values. So what are those things that you look for in a person that you say to yourself, okay, the must-haves?
Ooh, okay, on time. If I am meeting with them for the first time, if late to me is the worst thing, I don't care what we're talking about. Like, I cannot stand late. So that's number 1. Must be on time. If anything, 5 minutes early is better. And so that's number 1. 2, for me, I really need to be able to communicate to my team. So unfortunately, I only speak English. So they must speak English. I can't do good quality control and project management if I can't communicate. So that's very important. My whole team speaks multiple languages. I speak one, but they speak English. So that part is really, really important to me personally. Also, I would say, of course, their quality of work, seeing how they work. So I typically, even if they come referred, I'll have them do a small little project first to see even the little things, like how they clean up after themselves, how they prep, how they are on time. When they say a deadline, do they finish on time? Like those little things. I'll start with a small project and then grow, give them more after that.
Where do you see yourself like 5 years from now? And I know people always say that, but what's your wish list? If you were to say to yourself, like, okay, I'm sitting with Emily today, and then in the next year, I would like this, and then thereafter, what would that
Easy
be?
answer. I would like try not to cut you off because it's so easy.
Yeah.
And my dad, if he's listening,
not because it's Father's Day's around the corner.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's bucket list item to do a full rebuild with him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, it's on my list, like so whether it's a single family, a townhome, I don't care what it is, anything, just to
build. When you say rebuild, bottom up.
Yeah, bottom up. So whether it's a tear down and a rebuild, or buy land and build something, I want to do one with him. Really. So it'll be Greystone development and design combo.
I love it. That's possible.
Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah. We'll see. So.
And let's step back now to, I find it interesting what you said about, ballet, and I just know you're fiercely determined. And, from the moment I met you, you were someone who just really impressed me with like your intuitiveness and how, just, you have this very directive way of going about things. And, I just see how organized you are. So, and you said that some of that you had learned in ballet, and, I think ballet is probably one of those hardest disciplines of dance. I love dance, and, but I tried to take ballet for a few years as an adult, and I will tell you, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do.
Yeah. Listen, ballet it's compared to the military often. It really is. And it teaches you, even though they might seem crazy or a little ridiculous when you're a young child, but I remember if you had one hair sticking out of your bun, you couldn't take class. So it's being there again on time, waiting in position, like before class to start, no talking, like all of these things. It's just simply discipline. Yeah. And I think I also, again, because of my upbringing and my parents, I learned, I went to etiquette class. So I'll never forget. I think it was in like Burdines. I went to etiquette class. My mom brought me, I don't know, I was probably like 7 or something. How to place the forks, like how, to fold. I don't know. I don't remember all these things, like how to walk properly. Like, so, I learned all these things growing up as well. And I think it led into ballet, continued as I got older, and all of those just made me who I am.
And when it comes to development, and you talked about how the reputation, and unfortunately, I did an add-on once when I was having my son, and I can tell you that I don't think I would ever,
stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful. It was and this is a time to give your promo a little bit, but when you think of how you approach it, and you say, "Oh, make life a little less stressful," but there were so many little things that I didn't even realize that I had to decide on.
Yeah.
From we were adding on a bathroom, and it was like everything from the fixtures to the this to the that, and meant trips to, which I think, now is completely different. How has it changed, and what are some of the things that make it easier on the person who, maybe is out there saying like, oh, done that, or even right now, like I just met with a developer, not a real estate investor, and they buy not only distressed properties but other properties and flip them and do all these things. What are some of the things that you think that you offer to a company like that?
A developer?
Well, just someone who's looking to flip homes and to, one thing is to live in it. One thing
Right.
is to, to as an investment. How is that different as a project? Is that something that you do as well? And
Yeah, I mean, well, every owner, whether they live in it or doing it simply as an investment, are always thinking about resale value. So I have been asked this question, and my typical answer is it depends on what we're talking about. So when you have like fixed items, let's say like large, kitchens, flooring, things like that, if someone is asked me specifically for an investment purpose, I always veer towards more of a neutral palette because something can be beautifully designed, but if it's very curated for that person, it might not always be liked by the other, and you can never guarantee. But I basically, for investments, you have to go based on the time, unfortunately, which I don't always like to stick to trends because trends change. But most investors kind of do a relatively quick flip. So, sticking to whatever is relevant to the time period on a neutral palette, so it's genuinely or generally liked by most people. And then if someone is living in it, if they want to add like wallpapers or cool furniture to add a little more of their own taste, those things are either removed or easily changed. So that's kind of, I think, a nice balance. And as far as the little things, like how you were saying, the remodel, and it's true. Like it's because there's the outside, but then there's the inside as well. So for, let's say, example, a bathroom, you have the fixtures on the outside, but then you have the internal plumbing aspects, the valves, all these things that as a normal homeowner, you would probably not think about. So as far as making it easier for the client, they don't deal with any of it. They don't see it. I handle it all.
So you handle all of that, even like, do you do an inspection on the home before you start? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it depends again on what the work, the scope is. But again, I have my whole team, everything from a plumber to a tile installer, fabricators for countertops, everything. And we kind of go as a team. Well, I'll go first, do a full scope of the work, and then I'll bring my team and we'll do an assessment of everything that needs to be done. And there's an order as well. If you're doing a full remodel, like, you're going to do one thing before the next, which again, as a homeowner, you might not know or think about that the importance of it. And it is stressful. Like, it is stressful to manage multiple projects, multiple items and teams, but it's a stress that I love and I know how to manage. So that's, the difference. And I love not bringing that to the client. They don't have to worry about anything. We go through the plan and then I handle the intricacies and the issues that come up and I resolve them. And I think that's a big part of having a design or construction company. There's always going to be issues. Always.
Speaking of issues, what about managing vendors? Because my understanding is still, to some, depending on where materials and, the wish list, how realistic, like, is that about a realistic conversation with your client to say, okay, you can choose this, but it's coming from here. And it's going to take
I
a lot.
always say that.
So like, managing expectations and then managing results, right?
Yeah, well, no, that's a really good point. So that is definitely part of the process. I will, once we kind of agree what the whole project should look like or feel like, I come up with the plan and I will have options like that. Like, okay, this one will take 6 weeks because it's coming, we have to order it from Italy, or this one is in stock right now, we can have it here. So I always go through those options, and it makes a difference for clients. Like they might, veer towards one direction or another based on that. And that's always purely just being upfront. If you tell the client what to expect, then you don't have to worry about it. But I think where people make a mistake is maybe if they think a client is going to like a specific material more, they might say, oh yeah, it's coming. It might be a little delayed or so, being very vague. And I can see that causing problems, but there's no reason to do that. You just have to be upfront and honest, like anything. It's like these simple rules of life that I feel like people forget. And if you stick to them, it's clear, consistent, and that's how you avoid miscommunication.
Are there certain formulas that still hold true in terms of where, like if you're on a set budget, where to spend most of your money, be it kitchen, bathroom, or, your bedroom where your sanctuary where you live? Like what advice do you give to someone who says, okay, this is what I want to do, but I'm on this budget, where do we start and what do you recommend?
I ask where's your most important space? Where do you spend most of your time? What, it's all personal because I might say kitchen, but if someone never steps foot in the kitchen, doesn't cook, then why would you spend the money there? I know you, like in your beautiful home, like you created your special space, like, where maybe someone would say, I don't need this little den to be like a princess palace. Like, no, like leave it plain and let's spend it on something else, so it's all personal. It's very, very personal.
I still remember visiting your home, and I remember so many different unique elements of just simple things that made a big difference. I mean, like it was clean design. It was I'm not one to really love modern, but your home, like, it was such a beautiful mix of things, and it was just so everything had its place, and I fell in love with it, and I thought to myself, like, wow, and in your living room, all of it, but everything just fit perfectly.
Well, thank you. That is obviously what I like to share with my clients as well, and that's the other thing. I think some designers I get asked every time almost, oh, what's your style? Right? It's a very common question. And of course I have my own personal style, but my whole thing is I don't pinpoint a style on my company, because in my mind, the goal is to create the space as beautifully as possible for the client's style. So I take my expertise and make whatever it is that the client likes look its best. So whether it's coastal or ultra modern or, I don't know, fully eclectic, I'll make it as nice as it can be for that person. So my personal style is irrelevant. Like when people ask, I was like, whatever your style is, I'm going to make it look its best.
And then when they say to you they don't know, then you say, well, do you show them pictures?
Yes. So then we go down the Pinterest roll, It's like, oh, do you like, it's like the eye doctor, A or B? Like,
oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Which one do you like? And we'll start to create like a folder of visual aspects. And then from there, I get it, and I even if going into people's homes, speaking to them, it's important to see how they live, their lifestyle, what they wear. Like you can tell little bits of someone's personal style just by meeting someone. And that's why I feel like person to person is so important. You have to get some sort of connection with whoever you're working with in order, because you're creating their most personal space. Like, how can you not get a little, note to know someone to do that? You have to.
I just remember sitting like by your sofa, and I was like, "Oh my God, I want a sofa like that."
Yeah, it's huge. It's really
well. Yeah, this has gone by so quickly. We have a couple minutes left. This is your time to, if someone is out there and wants to work with you, to tell them how they can find you, where to find you, and all your details.
Great. My name is Tanya Etesam, founder and CEO of Great Stone Design. My website is www.greatstonedesign.com. Email tanya@greatstonedesign.com. I'm in Miami, Florida, based, and you can reach me through email or website.
Okay, well, wonderful. So, and I really appreciate you being part of the CEO Circle, but I must admit that your energy, your enthusiasm, and we connected right away, and I love the just the positivity that you bring to everything. You're just one of those women that, you have that smile on your face. And, I was really excited to have you on the show today and, hearing about what you do. And I know we were trying to make this happen. So, I can't, and having seen your work up close and personal, if you're out there and are looking for someone to work with, to give you a call. And thank you for being on Spotlight TV. We thank you, and and want to just say a shout out to Grant and Michael and Emily with the IE, our producer, for being here every week. We're very grateful to be here at Community Newspapers, and it's summertime, but we are still going, and everyone's all over doing podcasts, and they've done such an amazing job at growing this community and being there for the community. So huge thank you to everyone here at Community News. We'll see you next week on Spotlight.